Yeah. So some of the reasons why I was kind of thinking why people don't Zoom, and maybe for this one, if you have, let me just, if you have a thought, just go ahead and unmute yourself. We're a relatively small group. I just want to hear some of the things. Uh, Part of the reason that I've heard from people of why they don't do the Zoom is, you know, other than waiting, because some people were thinking the pandemic may not last as long, so why try something new? Hey, buddy, good to see you. Hey, Dane. Um, why try something new and we're just going to go back to what we were doing before? And then as we realize this pandemic is going a lot longer, oh my goodness, we're not going to be together. We're not going to be able to see our people. They started to kind of circle back and rethink the idea of what it would look like to do a Zoom. Um, so it's not the same as meeting face to face. I think everyone kind of agrees to that. However, it is available to us because we can't meet face to face. We're not allowed to. I don't know what you do in your own time, but as far as group, there's not many groups that are able to meet face to face because they don't live in the same household. So the other reason is some people say it's too hard to learn and use, and there's degrees of that. It is a new platform, and if you're not online a lot, when I first started using Zoom, it felt really challenging because I didn't know all the different features and what they do. And so I get that. However, I don't think I've met anyone yet that once you give them a little bit of a tutorial on how to use it, that they're not able to actually use it. And later on, I'm going to share some resources that you can go to and just kind of um, uh, and kind of learn on your own on how to use this. And also, I'll give you like a pro tip on the actually I think the best way on how to use Zoom and figure out how to learn how to use it. So
I was just going to say, Noel, in our care group, we've run into we have some seniors in our care group, and they are they're equipment challenged, and they live in apartment buildings with very poor Wi-Fi internet service, and they just can't stream. It just doesn't have enough amperage, shall we say, and they're trying to get the Strata Council to boost and pay for better signaling. So.
Yeah, I totally, and I'm not sure. I have some ideas on how to kind of go around that in terms of because Zoom is really just a platform that we can use for the one thing that we need to do when we're connecting as a group, and that's to connect as a group. So it's one way of doing it. Um, yeah, we'll go into it a little bit when we troubleshoot. If I don't go into it, Wayne, could you remind me when we get to that portion of the training? That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
And
I'll take care of that.
thank you. And then the other reason is some people just don't want to, and I'm not too sure what to do with that, other than, I'd love to have a conversation with the person. If you know someone that leads a small group, I'm still getting to know the people that lead a small group, and they have that kind of posture towards it. Please invite them to have a conversation with me. I won't try and change their mind. I just want to understand. And I think, by listening, it might not be what they think it is, and they might be able to do more with it than they realize. So, yeah. Any other reasons why people don't Zoom? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, one of the things that it's not so much a leader item; it's a participants, and that's the I don't want to is where the participants decide don't want to participate. And I know in our group there's several people that don't, and the spouse is said it will participate, but the one spouse will participate, but the other spouse won't.
Okay. Man, there's so many reasons.
And they just don't like. They get they get the idea. They see what it's all going into there. They just it's not what they're looking for their interaction.
Okay.
Last night, Noel, we did a a Zoom meeting, RightNow Media / Zoom, and two people tried to get in with their cell phones instead of using laptop or desktop, and it just didn't work. It wouldn't carry itself through. So it's equipment in some cases too, and the age of the equipment for others.
Yeah, totally. Zoom is a relatively new platform that people are learning, and it doesn't always work on certain devices, especially older devices. That's just kind of reality, and so people have to kind of make that choice a little bit to maybe, hopefully they can kind of access a more recent device. I mean, even if you get an iPhone that's a couple of years away, or a tablet that's a couple of years, old, it won't be that expensive, and it'll be able to carry something like Zoom.
Noel, I think another reason is they don't hear well enough.
Right.
And I know that's my husband's problem. But he has a gizmo where he can have like a computer send the sound straight to his hearing aid. So actually we're figuring all that out, and I'm hoping it'll work well, because he does quite a bit of lip reading. And so, if you're on a small screen, you don't really get to lip read. And if you can't hear, and I know some of the people on our group, there's quite a few that have hearing issues. So we've been kind of working on our sound,
Yeah.
more so than anything.
Yeah, no, I get that. I wish I had some easy solutions. Seeing Ken wear headphones may be helpful, especially ones that are noise canceling, so that they just kind of it kind of takes away all the ambient noise, and you can just hear what's coming from the device that you're using Zoom on. That may help. It'll crisp the sound a little bit more. Yeah.
Hey, Melody, do you want to nudge Neil there? He's falling asleep.
No, he's not here. You'll know when he's asleep.
And,
I'm just trying to say something nice to you, Wayne.
am I boring
I'm
you?
having a hard time.
Making
So-
You and your brother.
I wanted to know if in fact using headphones was helpful, if somebody had experience with that in their small group. For people that struggled with hearing, if using, like Noel suggested, headphones was something that actually really helped them.
Yeah, I used this morning. Teresa's doing a Bible study on Zoom, and this morning I used a headset with the mouthpiece, but after an hour I was really tired of just having the sound coming in on one ear. So I think you need two ears and maybe the mouthpiece on it too. I don't know whether you need the mouthpiece or you could just. I don't know.
What I'm doing is I went to a slightly higher I spent all of $21.99 to get, I think, for this set of headsets, and it's one of the better quality ones that I've got. So I've got both ears. I'm hard of hearing in one ear, and so I get better quality sound than just off of my tablet. And also I think I've got a better microphone on the boom mic with this set of headphones. So and I was on it for 3 hours yesterday, and I took a course 2 times a week for 3 hours at a time, and I use the headphones all the time, and the ones I've got are fairly comfortable, and so they're not
So
too bad.
right now, are you using your computer speaker or do you use the headphone speaker?
I'm using the headphones.
Oh, okay. And they have a speaker? I don't see your speaker, but.
Well, hey guys, let's keep going. Ken, maybe if you can reach out to Ali,
There.
Oh, you can get a side. Okay, I see. All right.
I gotta bring a little. It's perfectly light in here. It's just that my camera. I'm using the camera on the laptop, on the tablet, and it's not that good of a camera, so it doesn't pick it up.
We're gonna keep moving, guys. Yeah, if you can maybe reach out to Ali, Ken, kind of on another time, and just see if you can help her out. I think that would be awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so why people should Zoom? Again, turning into a positive. We're kind of in a pandemic, and we can't meet. So this is a way for us to meet. It's a way for us to see each other face to face, to see some things that are happening in our lives. Like when I look into Wayne's screen, I see some things that are in his household, in Ali's, Anna and Dane's. And so in some ways that helps to keep that connection, because I'm familiar with Wayne's room. I've been in there, and so maybe some there's a connection there. So this is what's available, and it's one of the things that we can use. And so why not use it and just give it a try? the opposite is not to give it a try and maybe miss out on something that could be really cool to keep your group going, to keep that connection going. The other thing too, it's another tool that you can add in your leadership toolbox. At some point, hopefully we can meet face to face and we can get together as a group, but this is always going to be in your back pocket. And in this season where you're having to learn something, this is something that you'll be able to use when you need to. For instance, if Annie and Dane went on holidays and they wanted to Zoom in with their group, who's meeting live, not that, I can see Anne being super excited to do that. They can do it because you guys are familiar with this platform, right? You could be like sipping a Mai Tai in Maui and still be connecting the group because that's so exciting for you. The other thing too is when you use Zoom, sometimes it actually takes the edge off and makes it softer for people that don't come to church or people that that have been de-church, the ones that have been, kind of have had a bad church experience, have stepped away from the church for whatever reason. It might be a way for them to kind of peek in and just see what's happening, right? They don't even have to show their face. They can just, hop on and kind of get a sense of what group life is like. So that's something to kind of think about. I know it's probably not something we've thought about a lot. I certainly haven't, but I read an article where this has worked and I thought, whoa, if I was going to introduce the dynamic of being the church, what it means to kind of where two or three or a few gather to spur one another towards love and good deeds, this might be a way to do that. And then the other thing is more theological for me. It's like, we are made to connect. And in this season where we're not able to connect, it's important that we find ways to do that. And so Zoom is one of those ways to do that. And the other is, we know that CAC is moving towards more and more to becoming a church, not just with small groups. I think our heart and our mindset as a church is to be a church of small groups. And so if we're going to be fulfilling our mission, which is to grow deep with Jesus, reach wide for Jesus, the bulk of the learning and equipping that happens in order for us to do that as a church is going to be in a small group, right? So the studies that we choose, the ones that are recommended, how we engage with the sermon, if your small group is a group that just takes the sermon and unpacks it and asks questions about, what Matt or Leon was preaching on Sunday. This is the environment where we get to talk about those things. It's really easy to listen to a good sermon on a Sunday morning or even a study on RightNow Media or any study and feel good about it until about an hour later when life starts to happen and a lot of what you've learned starts to leak already and you kind of wonder what was the takeaway from that message. And so having a space like this where you can get together as a group and talk about this stuff is really important. It helps for those lessons to dig deep and sink in. And again, be reminded that, this is the environment where we can help one another grow deep and reach wide. Any questions so far? You can just go ahead and unmute yourself or have any comments. All right, we're moving along and feel free to interrupt me, I'm okay with that.
I was just noticing Neil's shirt. So that might be something to keep in mind when you do your meetings, because his shirt is like it's almost alive when he moves.
I kind of like it because it's exciting. It's like snow.
It's like,
see, if I move a little bit, it's snowing.
You're inviting me to like lean in and really peek because the screens get smaller as I'm doing the screen share. So it's not full size. Yeah, you got some style there, Mr. Neil.
Yeah, I don't have to buy sequins this way.
So on your screen, if you've never Zoomed before, which I think all of you have, so this is just kind of, I'll go through this really quickly. So there's two ways to access Zoom. One is just to kind of go to zoom.us. You'll, just join a meeting, type in the meeting number and the password if there is one, and you're good to go. The other is to download the app. And you've seen this if you've downloaded apps before. You can put Zoom app or Zoom and you get a bunch of different things. Make sure it looks like something like this when you're downloading the Zoom app. Otherwise, you're downloading something else. Especially this particular logo, it should look exactly identical to that one when you're downloading it, okay? Unfortunately, when you do a training on how to use Zoom, you can't actually share the screen that you're on to the people that are watching you. So I thought this would be kind of a way to do it. And so these are some of the different features that's on your Zoom page. And at least with my cursor, I can kind of scroll through where those are located, and hopefully that helps. And some of you have already used this. That's really cool. If not, this is new, and that's awesome. If you have, then maybe you can speak into it as we go through it. The gold shield thingy didn't come up on my picture. Oh, handsome guy, look at that. It should be like right about here on your screen. And when you click on that, that gives you the information of your Zoom. It'll give you like the Zoom number, the meeting number, the password, and then also an opportunity for you to copy that link and send it to people so that if someone says, hey, I can't get onto the group, what was that Zoom number again? It's really easy for you to do that. Hey, Ali, do you have a question?
Well, if I can just have you back up a little, did you say you cannot share your Zoom screen?
The one that I'm on right now. So as I'm running this meeting.
Yeah, I think you can share it.
But I know I tried that and I wasn't able to, so maybe that's me.
Oh, really?
But at the same time, I mean, obviously you're seeing me, right? But what I can't share is the cursor going through the bottom where the features are, like I would be able to do on this photo. Can you see where my cursor, my little arrow is pointing at some of the features down below on the photo? Who can see it? Raise your hand. Okay, awesome. So this is why I kind of did the picture, and yeah. So let me just kind of go through this a little bit. So there's a timer, which is kind of on this side of your screen. So you can kind of see how long we've been on the Zoom. So it should say right about now, about 42 minutes. And then security is down here. If you click on that, you actually have an option to lock your meeting once everybody's on board. That way no one can kind of drop in unexpectedly. Super helpful, right? If you have a Zoom account and you don't want someone to come in, especially if you're doing group and you want to keep the confidentiality piece going. Participants down here, you can see when I did this to myself, but right now you should probably see about 8 boxes on there. That gives you the number of participants. And if you click on that little arrow beside participant, it gives you some options on what to do with your participants. And then the chat, does everybody have their chat open at this time? If you don't, click on the chat so that's available, because I'm going to show you something that you can do with that a bit later. And then share screen, that's this button right here. It's kind of, is that yellow or green? I'm a little colorblind. Who says yellow? Hands up.
It's green.
It's green. See, I'm colorblind. It looks yellow to me. If you click on that, then you have the option to share your screen. And when you click on it, as you'll see, there's different boxes that you can use, that you can kind of click to share your screen. One of them was this PowerPoint, which you guys are seeing right now.
It's been disabled for us.
For who?
You disabled it.
Oh, the share screen? Yeah, because I'm the one leading the host, but you can, I can enable it for anyone. That's up to you if you're leading the Zoom, you have that option, with this button here, right here. You can,
I was just commenting because you said that if we clicked on it, we would see those other features, but we won't because it's been disabled, so we wouldn't see that. So those are things that we can say. Yeah.
Let me,
and also, Noel, as participants, I believe we do not get the security screen or the gold shield on our screens.
We did.
If you got a Mac or something and you go to the top left, it'll have a little eye with a circle around it.
Information.
Yeah. It doesn't show up unless you scroll towards this direction. It doesn't show up automatically. But if you scroll towards here on your screen, the little shield thingy should pop up.
It's green.
And it's green too.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me share the a new share. So this should pop up when you share your screen if you're leading Zoom. And so you have options on what you want to share on your screen. Right now we're sharing the PowerPoint, which is what I chose. But be careful what you have open on your screen. If it's something that is personal or confidential to you, make sure you know what screens are open before you share screen, because a lot of them will pop up. Okay, there's nothing in here that I wouldn't want to share with you, but yeah, so just be mindful of that. All right. we're recording the Zoom, FYI, because some people can't make it tonight. So all your happy faces will be available to those who can watch this after tonight's training. I hope that's okay. If not, I want to honor that, and I won't share it for sure. So let me know, okay? Breakout rooms, is this kind of like little Rubik's Cube or small Rubik's Cube? You have the options to do breakout rooms. I won't go into detail on how to do that because I think most small groups won't even use it. You don't have enough people in your group to really to have this as an advantage to use. But I know, Journey with Melody, she uses this quite a bit. And so if you do need to use it, here's what you can do. You can hit me up and I'll take you through it. Or, if Melody is willing, she can also help out in that way. Is that cool? Reactions. I love reactions. People don't use reactions, enough, but it's this little happy guy face. And so, yeah, thanks, Wayne. Thanks, guys. I hope that hopefully that means something. Yeah, I am funny. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Micah. Either that or you think this is, yeah, I'm not doing a good job and you're laughing at me. It's okay. Okay. All right. So any questions? Again, I know I'm going fast, but I'm going to send you this PDF. And I kind of want to honor your time as well, but I don't want to miss out on anything that might be important to you. So any questions so far or any thoughts? No? Awesome. You guys are all stellar. Oh, look, another handsome dude, I think, kind of, sort of, maybe not. How to
You're not just colorblind, Noel.
What's that?
You're not just colorblind.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to show you in the chat right now on how to copy and paste the link. Some of you guys will know this, how to do this already, but let me do that by stopping the share. So down here, if you go on a web page, I'm going to click out for a second and just click on it, copy, and just go down here, and then up above you'll see an edit button at the top of your screen. Just click paste, and there it is. And then, okay. And so if you have a resource or whatever that you want to pass on to your group, that's the way to do it. It's just basically like copying and pasting.
Noel, I completely missed that. Where did you copy paste from?
Yeah, we didn't see that either.
Oh, okay. Let me do this. So let me hit this button and share it right there. Hold up for a second, guys. Okay, say you're on this page. Can you see the RightNow Media one?
Yep.
Okay, so say you want to send this to people for whatever reason, or any page, like let's do a different one. So this is on YouTube. It's actually a really good one for Zoom training. So if you want to send this and you're saying, hey, in your small group, if you want to know a little bit more about how to use Zoom with our small group, here's a great kind of resource that you can use. Just come up above, double click on your mouse, to highlight it, and then go up and copy, right? And then go back to where the chat is and just, you can't see it, but if you go up the top of your window or where it says edit, right? And then click it and scroll down to paste, you should get it coming up in the chat. And then just click return. Does that help? Does that help? Anybody, am I confusing people? You good? Okay.
Yeah, I've got a slightly different way of getting at it. So I just put that into my chat and pasted what I copied from the URL.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's a great way to kind of forward things. Yeah, just any resource that you want your small group to have, especially if you did a study on RightNow Media and somebody couldn't attend, but they were in the chat, you might want to put the copy and paste the link so they can watch it later. Okay, let me just share screen again and go on to the next one. Okay, so the other thing we can do in the chat is upload a file. Okay, so that's really easy. If you go in the chat, in your chat box there, you can see in the bottom, if you on the right-hand side, right about here, there's a little file icon, right? If you click on that, go ahead and do it, and you can actually just follow the prompts and then you can kind of send a file to, and upload it to your chat so that people can actually access it. Let me see if I can do it as a thing. Yeah, this one might have, might not be possible because I actually have to be on the Zoom page. Let me show you what it will look like though when I do it. So for instance, I went to the file, I went to Dropbox. Just let me find the one I'm looking for here, guys. This one, I choose that.
Wayne, you're such a keener.
Okay, you should see that. You should see a file come up in the chat. Can everyone see that now? Yeah, so this way, I mean, you now have this. You can kind of click on this and then download it into your computer. So you have this. I will send this as an email as well to all the small group leaders because there was a problem sending it earlier the normal way. Okay. How's everybody doing? Okay. Should I keep going? Is that okay? Awesome. Okay, let me go back to voila. We should be back at the PowerPoint. All right, so let's go to some pro tips, and I'm just going to kind of talk this through. And if you have a thought or a question, just speak up. It's all good. So what I've found to be the best way to learn Zoom is to do a Zoom with yourself. Okay, and so just you know, get a Zoom account, get a free one, and then do a Zoom, and then go into where security is, click on that, and then lock everybody else out, and just try the different features. You know, try the chat, try the let me see here. Yeah, try the participants thing, click on security, try sharing the screen, you know, recording yourself, all these different features. Try looking at the little green thingy up here, you know, that shows, like, just play around with it. Click as many buttons as you want, click as many tabs as you want, and just play around with it because no one is watching you, and no one's going to be able to watch you because you've locked yourself out. Okay, you've locked other people out. It's the best way I can think of to learn how to do Zoom. It's something that I did early on and was super helpful, and I didn't feel self-conscious because no one was coming in to watch me. And then if you're a smarty pants and you know Zoom and you're part of a small group, be each other's support. You know, come alongside somebody, do a one-on-one Zoom with them, or when we're able and you're able to meet with, you know, with Mask or however that can work, show them how to do it. Like, teach them. I mean, be supportive of one another. Okay. On the day of, when you guys are about to do a Zoom with your team, we know life happens, things get busy, or people kind of are on the go. Send a reminder. Before we did this Zoom, you probably got an email from me, right? The other way to do that is if you have a Facebook Messenger or a text group or something where it's just your group, that I find that's the best way and the most efficient way to send a reminder to let people know, hey, Zoom is up, or Zoom's going to be up in about 10 minutes. You know, people start thinking about hopping on and being a part of it. I always say start your Zoom early. You never know. I like to always, I mean, this is maybe just me. I always like to start it early so I can get on and make sure that I'm ready to go. And if someone pops on, there's always a little bit of just, you know, what do you call that? What's the time when people come to your house when you have small group? It's like mingling time, right? So it's kind of like mingling time and you hop on a bit early. What tends to happen is if people hop on a bit early and there's no one there, especially if it's their first time, because maybe they want to make sure they got it right. especially if you have people that haven't used Zoom before. It's nice to be there already when they hop on and they're doing this for the very first time, because you'll just be more like a welcoming face is always encouraging.
Noel,
Yo.
with that though, if you're using the free account, you only get 40 minutes.
Yes.
So like Sunday morning for our children's church, I only go on like 5 minutes maximum early, because we're going to be cut off after 40 minutes. So if it takes people 10, 15 minutes to get on, I still only have until 9:35 with the kids. So it's hard to be early if you're using the free one.
Allie, what is one way that you can hop on early and not worry about eating up the 40 minutes?
Oh, well, I think I was wrong about that.
Oh, okay, because
I
thought I learned something new.
Yeah, so what I thought, what it says is that you can do as many one-on-one as you want. So what I thought was you can let, one person on, so you now have two, but as soon as you let the third person on, your time starts. That's how I thought it worked. But it didn't. The other day when we did that, I signed in 10 minutes early and it used that 10 minutes. So that didn't work.
So you're right, Anna. Maybe that's changed. I know Zoom has had to change their some of their way of doing things. Maybe partly because so many people are using Zoom now. So maybe that was a thing before, but I guess not. So I would say, hey, if you can start early, if you're using a free account, then obviously that's a bit more challenging. But also,
If you do run out of time though, you can just use the same link. So like for adults, it's easy to just click the link again and start it up. I'm not going to do that with kids, but so if any of us were in it and we ran out of time, we can just use the same link to go back into it.
And you get another 40 minutes of time. Yeah. Always good to start with an icebreaker, like just check in with people. How are you doing? How was your week? What were the highlights, the lowlights, all those kinds of things that you do as a group. It's still our group time, so that's something that you can still use. When you guys, lead a Zoom or early on, make sure you're setting a bit of ground rules on how you kind of interact on Zoom, because you can see it can be a bit of a free-for-all. If everybody unmutes themselves and starts talking, you'll have kind of overlapping conversations, and it's really hard to know what someone is saying, especially if you're leading the group. One of the things I would suggest, and these are just recommendations, you guys lead your group and you know how best to do that. I'm just here to kind of help out with some suggestions. One is be present, when it's group time, as much as possible, encourage yourself and others in your group to minimize the distractions. Some of them are can't be helped if you have small kids or whatnot, but as much as possible, especially if you're leading the group, you want the group to know that you're engaged with them. Okay. And show yourself. I don't know if groups actually do this. Actually have your video on. Don't just be a name on the screen. I think that it's not, if we're all about relational connection, that's really taking the connection a little bit down if you're not showing yourself. No worries. I mean, we're all going to be in our home, and I think some of the best Zooms, the best group Zooms are when people are just who they are. They're in their PJs, whatever, they just had supper, they got, a piece of chocolate in their mouth, whatever it might be. Just be you, because, we all know that when when people leave, that's who we kind of are. We're just people. Have kind of a muting, unmuting type of system where, hey, if I'm speaking, go ahead and unmute yourself, or after you ask your question, however you want to work it, that works for your group. If it's a smaller group, there's no worries. People tend to know when to not talk as they see someone talking. But if you have a big group, I know some of the groups we have at CAC are like 20 people, that can get challenging. So if you need to, have some ground rules on how you mute and unmute yourself as a group. And then, leverage the chat. It's a great way to encourage one another. It's a great way to ask questions if you don't want to interrupt the person that's facilitating, but you have a question and you don't want to forget that question. It's a great way to park that question, and a sharp small group leader will circle back to it because it'll be in the chat. I find that when you're doing a Zoom, the chat doesn't get a lot of usage, so it doesn't really kind of get lost in there. So that's a great way to kind of use the chat with your group. And of course, you know, we want to be praying. I mean, I should have prayed before the meeting. I forgot, my bad. But pray with your group, you know, let God kind of speak to you through your group and before and after. Okay. The other thing too is what I love about virtual small groups, which you can't really do with live small groups, is you can actually condense the time and still have a really good group discussion time, because you know you're already used to watching each other on video or using a video platform. If you watch the video of your study beforehand and come to group just prepared to kind of connect and then go into discussion, you'll probably do group in about an hour or less, right? Because you can just dive right in. You don't have to do that. No worries. But it's an option that you can have. And then this is really important, I think, because right now it's very fluid, right? People aren't meeting like we used to. Before your group time ends, just set up your next time that you can meet, whether it's next week at the same time, in 10 days, in 2 weeks. It brings a level of accountability and commitment to your group. You know, so, hey, you know, when do you guys think we can meet, you know, and lock that down? And then send an email reminder to people that you have done that. And so that way people can lock it down on their calendar. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Britt. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. This is not super related, but if we have time at the end, before I forget, I just wanted to see if anyone had actually hosted a small group on RightNow Media, like on their platform. Because I know that that's something that they have created now. Mom has.
Yeah.
We, Chad and I, because we're going to do it for the first time on Thursday, we did just with each other. The person has to already be logged into RightNow Media to click the link. That's the only thing that, so you sign up, send your invites, then they all get their memberships or whatever. But before they can, like they can't just go to their email like you can with Zoom and click the link and it all opens up for you. You actually have to log into RightNow Media, have that open on your device and then click the link. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In our group, what we do is actually because one of our people has like a professional membership, so they actually host the meeting. And so they queue it up and then they play it for everybody to listen to. And they mute us. So it's just like Noel sharing the screen. They actually play the video clip and everybody watches it. So that's another way to do it as well.
And they use Melody to do
Pardon?
that? Do they use Zoom to yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they have RightNow Media queued up and then they just share the screen. Because I don't know how to on a Mac, but on like on my computer, because I have a PC, if I do Alt Tab, it'll let me choose which screen that I want to share. Right. So I just don't know how to work my way around on Neil's laptop.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure
I do. I can show you. That's okay.
Yeah.
The thing to remember though, if you are sharing media from the web over Zoom, it can really distort and be delayed. So you're going to want to click
nice.
I can't remember what it's called, but there's an option to click like maximize audio and video.
Yeah, we'll go into that for sure.
One of the best ideas, like with RightNow Media, if you're going to share it over Zoom, download that video to your laptop, whatever, and then share it from there, because then it's not going to be streaming from like one part of the multiverse to the other part and instead it's just coming right off your computer, so your feed will be a lot better.
Yeah, and also you'll be able to hopefully avoid, like if your Wi-Fi isn't as strong because it's on your laptop, you know, or if you have to use data if you're doing it on your phone, which I don't recommend. But yeah, so some options there. Go ahead, guys, a couple more.
So one of the other issues with that is if you have poor bandwidth, it doesn't work very well, regardless of whether you've downloaded on your device or not. So for us, we can't host at our house, which is why I do stuff either at the church or my office.
Yeah, I forgot about you guys up there in the valley and the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Ali, you had a question?
I do, and this is totally off topic, But just a few minutes ago, I don't know if my picture disappeared because my whole screen went black.
Oh, okay.
And I have no idea why. And I was like hitting different buttons and
Are you back on now? Are you?
yeah, I am now, but it just went black.
it-
Has anybody had that happen?
No.
We haven't, but our Zoom meeting was glitching today too. It was like splitting the screen in half, like,
Wow.
and then we had to change the view like 2 times, which it's never done that either. We could still see you though.
I would
think.
say a couple of things. If that were to happen, just reload the Zoom again, like refresh it and see if that helps. And then check your Wi-Fi connection to see, because sometimes, you know, for whatever reason, we have TELUS, they're doing some kind of stuff with their Wi-Fi and it can slow the feed down.
I
So-
could hear you talking though.
What's that?
I could hear you talking.
Oh, okay. It could
Just
just
the
be your
audio.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, it could be your Wi-Fi was a bit slow during that period, so it wasn't giving you like the full power of
Okay.
connection. Yeah.
Sorry, I totally got you off topic. I'm so sorry about that. It was just
No.
shocking to all of a sudden have a black screen.
No worries. Okay, let me go on to
I was just going to say one thing, Noel, if I can,
yeah, of course.
and I think Melody alluded to it, was bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are wired and you're at a desktop computer, you're okay. But if you're doing a Wi-Fi and a laptop, that tends to drop sometimes, or the capacity drops off.
Or
Yeah.
if you live in Columbia Valley. 'Cause-
Period.
That too.
Period.
Yeah. I can help you buy a new house closer to town.
No, no.
Ah,
good,
look at
good.
Wayne, never miss an opportunity.
Hey, I'm gonna go get my kitten. Maybe Wayne will buy a cat.
Oh,
The other thing that you have to look out for is the age of the computer, because or how many applications that are programs are being run by the computer, because sometimes if the computer is being got too many things running, it will start glitching on Zoom because it doesn't have enough capacity within the computer itself.
Well, just so you know, my computer's new and it's hardwired.
yeah. But Ken is right. Sometimes if you have multiple devices running, it can kind of interfere with one another. So,
Yeah, there's nobody using it except me, so.
yeah. So there's lots of different little things that can kind of go. My go-to when those things happen, I just say I'm going to refresh, you know, my Zoom, and it usually tends to kind of to go with. If it's still you know, running some issues, then yeah, we'll just have to kind of do our best, I guess.
When you say refresh, Noel, are you saying out and in, log out and come back in, or how are you refreshing?
Yeah, log out, log back in. Yeah. If you're the leader, just kind of do it and then send an email or a text to your people and just say, hey, had to log out and log back in. Go ahead and click on the link again. We should be back on. No.
So the other thing I noticed was when I was going to do that, and when I went to your email on my iPad just to look at it, and it's not highlighted anymore, so I wouldn't have been able to use that same email. I would have had to physically type it in, I guess.
Yeah, if you go on Zoom, if that happens, just go on your Zoom because it'll give you an option to type in the meeting number. So just
Okay.
type in the meeting number and then type in the password, and you should still be able to join that Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. So down here, what Ange is referring to, so when you share a screen and you see down here where it says share sound and optimize your video clip. So if you click on those, that'll help kind of make it better, I think is the best way to put it.
We don't see that because you're currently sharing your screen.
Yeah. So down here,
Yeah.
so when you go on the share screen and you press share screen, you
We
get,
don't see that screen. That
you're not
that
seeing the screen where my cursor is going?
Well,
you-
we have a screen, but we don't have the one that you're referring to. 'Cause
We
you go
have
here.
RightNow Media, all kinds of stuff on
okay,
RightNow
hold on,
Media.
let me just hold on, let me pause, stop sharing, and I'll do it from the beginning.
because that might not show up as you're sharing your screen. You would have to take a picture of that and then share the picture.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so I guess you can't see it. Okay, so let me just kind of take you through it. When you press share screen, right? The dark arrow, you're gonna get a pop-up that has all kinds of different options for what screen you want to share. If you look on the bottom and you go very far left, you'll see a couple of boxes that says share sound and optimize for video clip.
Mhm.
If you click on those, that'll help kind of the source that you're using, especially if it's RightNow Media, be a little bit clearer and crisper when you share it. Okay. So does that make sense? Are you guys trying it right now?
No, every time I try and get into it, it shows that I'm blocked.
Yeah,
locked out.
yeah. So this is, I mean, on your own time, just, again, press share screen, click on the black arrow that's embedded in a green box, and then you'll get all these options of what you can share. And underneath it, like right about in this area right here, you'll see a couple of boxes that you can click on to optimize the performance of what it is that you're sharing. Okay.
And you don't necessarily need to optimize like always check the first box. What does that one say? I can't remember.
Share sound.
Yeah, share sound, but you don't have to, unless you're doing a video clip, you don't necessarily have to share the other one, because then it changes the presenter's screen. They lose everybody else.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think actually for RightNow Media, because two thoughts. One is I think they have this as an option on RightNow Media where you can just share the actual study that you were doing and then copy the link and then send it to your people and they click it. And so you're doing kind of group time on RightNow Media, is because for free accounts on Zoom, you only get 40 minutes, right? So if you want to stay on with your group about a study for longer than that, when you do it through RightNow Media, you can go for as long as you need to, right? But unfortunately, it's not as seamless as if you were to share that page with that you're studying on RightNow Media through Zoom. So I find, for me, I would recommend that you share that screen, that whatever it is that you're studying on RightNow Media, and do it through Zoom, kind of like what you're seeing right now, hopefully. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I think that for me is probably the better option of the two, is to just go on RightNow Media, share your screen, and then click on whatever study that you're doing, and just, then you don't have to go through copying and linking anything. You can do it the other way as well, but this is what I would probably recommend. Does that help, guys? Wayne, I know you use RightNow Media quite a bit. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too, because the last couple of times that I've invited the group to join me on RightNow Media, we've gotten in, but it gets overloaded and people's screens drop or get fuzzy. And if they don't have up-to-date equipment, it messes it up for everybody. So you gotta, it's better if you do it. The second way is to screen share on Zoom. Otherwise, make sure that all of your people have up-to-date equipment and good bandwidth if you're going to share RightNow Media directly, as I found.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne. And also, if you do it this way, your group members, especially if you invite someone new, they don't have to have a RightNow Media account in order for them to participate, because you're sharing the screen. So you kind of have to, as Ange mentioned, when you click that link, you actually have to log into RightNow Media to be able to access the study. This way, you don't even have to do that, right? Because you're sharing the screen.
And I must say, for us, it's okay as pastors because we have access to the church account, which has no time limit. Mm-hmm. But if you're working with a 40-minute time limit and you're doing a study that takes 30 minutes just to watch the video on Zoom, on RightNow Media, you're going to run out of time. So you got to balance that out. So if you're going to go, if it's going to be longer than 40 minutes, especially if the video is 25 or 30 minutes long, like the one we're doing right now is Steps to Freedom in Christ. Some of those are quite lengthy. So then I just have to go to share on RightNow Media if I'm not using the church Zoom account.
Yeah, or what you can do, Wayne, you know, again, if it boots you out, just reboot it, you know, get your next 40 minutes of Zoom time and just start the video from where you left off, right? It's a little bit of an extra step, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically you say, okay, everybody's gonna exit and we're gonna start a new meeting, which is the same link, same password, but then it restarts to 0. So you get another 40 minutes.
Yeah, and then just share the screen again for the RightNow Media study that you're doing and just start it at kind of where you left off. We're about 7:58. We're almost done. Just want to do a little Q&A. Anna's happy. We're almost done. Do you have any questions or anything that I can help you with? I got to tell you, I'm just a learner when it comes to these online platforms, just like you are. People seem to think that I know more than I do. I really don't. I learned something new today even, but I'm happy to kind of learn with you and also answer whatever questions you may have that I can. So do you have any questions?
No, I just want to make a comment. I actually like the fact that you're not smooth because that gives us all the ability to go, hey, this is okay. Seriously, if you get too refined, then you're going to scare people. So this is good.
Yeah, I know.
And it's also that you're good looking because you're easy to watch.
Thanks, buddy. That's why I put up those photos during the, you know, during the thing. Like, you know, you can't, you know, forget.
Is that why you're so far away from the screen, Wayne?
Exactly.
Guys, I'll give you a tip on Zoom. You know, it's all in the lighting. So, you know, if you want to look your best, get like a ring light and you'll look your best.
There's actually like tips for how to look better on Zoom. Like they actually have like things that they've posted. It's like, oh my goodness, like the angles so that you're not like bulking up underneath the.
I cut Brad Pitt's head off and put it on mine.
You know what? For me, I say most likely if you're doing Zoom with your small group, they've seen you in lots of different kind of ways of looking, and they're not going to be thinking twice when you come on and it's either dark or you're in your PJs or, you know, whatever. I think you'll be just fine. You're just with your people. Your people love you. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you giving the time to do this. These are going to be part of the PDF that I'm going to send to you, but I found them super helpful. They're straight off of Zoom. So their Zoom channel on YouTube and their website. So these are some really good ways that you can kind of learn a little bit more about how to use Zoom. Way more than what I could teach you or share with you, because I go on these actually when I always say people tend to learn on a need to know basis. If you need to know something on how to use Zoom, you want to hit up one of these two resources, because you know they'll probably be able to help you better than I could. But you can also hit me up and I'll do my best. I'll probably redirect you into this and do this with you together. Don't hit me, Anna. Any last thoughts?
You said to hit you.
Yeah, well, you know, me and Anna we get along so well at work, but sometimes, you know, we do get a little feisty.
Well, when you're 2 meters apart, that means that your two hands should just miss each other.
Just use his ring light to nudge him.
Right. Hey, any other thoughts before I let you go and get your night back? Awesome. Well, let me just pray for you. And then this Zoom is recorded. So yeah, if it's something that you don't want anyone for me to share, let me know. I want to honor that for sure, because you guys took the time to do this. But if not, I'd be happy to kind of send this as a link for people that weren't on board or weren't able to come on board tonight, and so that they can use it and hopefully it'll help them leave their group. Let me pray for you and then we'll wrap it up. Heavenly Father, gosh, you don't want us to be deterred by the things that we can't do. You do want us to consider and being creative and innovative with the things that we can do, to do the main things that you've called us to, and that is to stay connected with one another, to spur one another towards good love and towards good deeds, and and to grow deep with Jesus and reach wide for Jesus by being in an environment where we can feel safe to encourage one another, but also challenge one another to grow. And so I just pray that, you know, all our small group leaders, that you would impart with them that mindset, that openness to try something new, and to reach out for help if they haven't done this before or are having some struggles with it, that there is help available, that you would show them that you would open the way, and that you would help us to be gracious and accommodating, especially with our seniors. This is really, really hard for a lot of them. So I just pray that you'd be with all of us and see us through this season well, staying connected to one another and helping others also know that you are working in us and through us when we're together. So we love you, Lord, and we just bless every one of our small group leaders, but in particular the ones that showed up tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
I have one more
Good.
tip. I
Yeah,
have
of
one
course.
more tip for all of you. Okay, so if people are not wearing headphones, one of the things that can happen is you can get some kind of echoing happening. So when that happens, identify who it is. And if you ask them to go to the left-hand top of the screen where it says turn on or turn off original sound, if they actually click on that bar, so right now I've turned it on, so it's
off.
no, it says turn off original sound. That
Okay.
means it's on.
Okay.
Okay, so get them to go on to that and click on the actual thing of the words so that then the message says turn on original sound. The only time you need to use original sound is if you're sharing video or music, because that helps it. So if you're hosting the meeting, you'll want that on, but everybody else, because you can get some of that reverb kind of background, and that will help that.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mel.
yeah.
Yeah. Any
Which
last
screen
thoughts,
is that on?
Go ahead.
It's fun. So if you take your mouse and you go to along the top, like above all our pictures, are you on gallery view or speaker view?
Speaker view,
Okay.
gallery view.
Okay, you're muted, Ali.
Sorry, I'm on gallery view.
Okay, so if you go above all our pictures and you'll see, and if you go up into the black, you'll see some other things come up along the top of the screen, right?
No.
Okay. It should be there. Do you see where the green shield is?
That's at the bottom.
Oh, that's at the bottom for you. Okay.
Mhm.
So do you see somewhere where it
Oh,
says?
the green shield. Yes, it's on the far left.
Yes.
And then there's a little recording button
Yes.
beside it. And that's it.
Does it say turn on original sound?
No.
I don't think on this one, because I'm recording it, Melody, so it might have superseded it.
No, I have it on our screen.
Oh,
It
do
might be
you?
the way ours is set up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have it on mine as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be the way
And I
the
don't have it.
Google account is set up when you set
Mhm.
up your accounts. So
Yeah, there is this. If you go up on Zoom US up above, and you go into preferences, you can change some of your settings. That's a bigger piece than we can go over tonight. But play around with that. Again, I would totally recommend just do a Zoom with yourself, lock everybody else out, and just try all the different features that you can. Like click on all the buttons and see what works for you. The more you do something, the more it becomes natural and intuitive.
In some cases, it depends on whether a person's a participant or whether they have and so they don't have an account, or whether they have their own account, or they set themselves up for, say, a free account, so they have the app downloaded. Like right now, I'm just participating with what you sent out. I'm not using anything that I'm from on my own.
Mm-hmm. If you just have participants that are hopping on just to join your group, not a big deal. But if you're a small group leader or, other small group leaders, I would recommend that you encourage them to, just do a Zoom with yourself and then try the different features. Okay. We're at 8:07. Thank you again so much for hopping on tonight. I'm going to record this and then send it in an email tomorrow. And then hopefully other people can benefit from it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for doing this, and God bless.
Bye now.